Day. So by the title of this video, I'm sure you guys saw that we got engaged. Woo! So I just wanted to share the story here on YouTube because I haven't really done that anywhere. Like, I didn't tell the story on Instagram or anything like that. I mean, obviously you guys saw the video, but I wanted to tell you guys like just a little bit of backstory as to like how it happened.
I tricked the shit out of her.
Yes. So tricked the absolute shit out of me. We went and looked at rings at the Diamond family back in like August, and so Jeff knew like exactly what I wanted in terms of like the shape. Like, I just chose a round diamond. I think that's like the official term for it, with a classic band. And so he knew what I wanted, and then it was kind of just a matter of like timing, saving up for it, and all that good stuff. And when did you start like giving hints? My parents have a condo in St. Petersburg, and we agreed that we'd do Christmas there to see my family. I haven't seen my family for Christmas just in a minute, like since pre-COVID. And so it was important to me to like see them for Christmas this year. So we decided like around the teens in December, like we would go to St. Petersburg for a few days. And Jeff brought up to me probably like a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago. He was like, what do you think? One of my clients has a condo in 30A. We should go in December, a week early in December, right?
Yeah.
Details?
I bought her the ring the day after we went and looked at it in August. I went back there and told him, this is what she looked at yesterday. This is what I'm going to get her. This is what I want. I started paying it off immediately and didn't tell you. And I was like, oh, it's going to take a while and we're busy and money and blah, blah, blah. But I bought it the next day and started paying it off for like a month. I went every couple of weeks and put money on it. And then after I finished buying it, I was like, okay, now I got to decide. I wanted it to be really special for her.
Yeah, and
obviously.
I am, to like pause on the Florida story, I'm such a detailed person. I ask time and questions and dates, and I'm just very like detail oriented because I don't like to be late for things. I don't like to be unprepared for things. Like, if there's not a diversion, I probably would have spoiled it. I probably would have asked questions or been skeptical or whatever. So one of your clients, right?
My clients just bought a really nice condo in 30A, and so Kiley knew that, and so I told her, hey, Tina said that we could have her condo for a week in December, and then we'll just time it up so we see your parents after. And then I started telling her, like, let's make this trip really, really special. I want you to find the best restaurants in town, get new clothes, let's take lots of pictures.
I was like, oh, okay.
A lot of stuff that I don't say, and totally knowing that she would read between the lines and be thinking about it. And while that was going on, I texted and called Macy. And I was talking to Macy, and I said, hey, I need you to invite us to Halloween because I'm going to propose to Kiley on Halloween. Because Kiki loves Halloween. She loves getting dressed up, loves having fun, and obviously loves Nashville. So I said, hey, I need you to invite Kiki and I to Halloween, so she has no idea. And then so Macy did that, and Macy was in on it the whole time from day one. Macy was freaking awesome. She helped so much. She put all of the stuff together for after the actual proposal where we met. All your friends coming, all that stuff. And so then I invited Dr. Tony and Kelly, two of our best friends, because Kelly's never been to Nashville, and she wanted to go.
So I already I had, like, the planner that I am, I had Halloween plans for us at this little place called Public Schoolhouse that does, like, a Halloween pop-up. And so I was like, no, babe, like, we have plans in Halloween, like for Halloween, I really want to go to this pop-up. Like, we've been trying to go to Public Schoolhouse, like, multiple times. We tried to go there, like, I really want to go. And so Macy calls me and is like, no, you should come to Nashville. And when I told Jeff, I was like, Macy says we should come to Nashville for Halloween. You're like, oh yeah, that would be dope. Like,
and let's invite Kelly and Tony, because Kelly's never been there.
Yeah, like,
I had it all planned
because it was Macy's idea. Like, I guess I just didn't think anything of it.
It's not just a hat rack.
So yeah, I was not skeptical.
And so Kelly and Tony then were in on it the whole time, because I was like, okay, Kelly, I'm going to ask you to take a picture of us at this. I told Kiley to get a reservation at Urban Grub, one of our favorite restaurants we used to go to all the time when we first started dating. And there's a spot at Urban Grub. It's really romantical. And outside under the lights, there's a fire. We always used to sit out there and talk for hours and take pictures and all this stuff. So I was like, okay, like Kelly, we'll do it at, we'll have dinner at 7. At 8 o'clock, I'll walk out there and I'll say, hey, let's take a picture. We always just take a picture. And Kelly, you can take a picture for us.
That's why our dinner was ready so fast? Were you like on a time? Did they...
I ordered right away. Did you not remember that? We sat down and I was like, let's order right now. Let's order right now. Everybody be ready.
Yeah.
You didn't even
But I
notice.
just thought you were just starving.
Yeah,
It's classic.
I just said that.
Yeah.
Again.
Because we were done. We had a reservation at 7 and we were like...
We paid by $7.50.
We literally paid by $7.45. I remember being like, oh my God, it's $7.45. Like, wow, that was such a quick dinner. Like, what in the world?
Yeah, and so then I had my buddy Matt, who is a photographer and a videographer. I had him come at 8 o'clock on the dot. I said, okay, I want you to walk in at 8 p.m. We'll be walking outside then. I'll tell the hostess stand to help you where to go. And so I went up to the hostess stand. Actually, I said, oh, I've got something in my teeth. I'm going to grab a toothpick so that I could tell them, hey, put on our song, which is Twin Flame by Machine Gun Kelly. I said, can you put that on when we walk out there? And they're like, I don't know. I was like, come on, put it on.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know if we can do that. You're like, someone has control over the music.
Somebody's got the music. Put an iPod on. Put on a shuffle. I don't care. Put on a phone. Figure it out. And so we go out there and we sit by the fire and Kelly's going to take a picture. And I put my tooth in, which I put in for all of whoever is watching this today also. And so I put my tooth in, and so Kiki just thought I wanted to sit on the side where my tooth is.
Yeah, so we walk outside. I'm not skeptical at all because this is our favorite restaurant. We've been there a ton of times, but we don't have any photos of us there. And there's just the spot on the patio outside, like there's 2 tables, but then there's also a couch, 2 chairs, and a fire pit, and like that's where we would sit and talk, like before a reservation or after a reservation or like during a reservation. If they put us inside, we would just like go sit outside, and they're like, okay, whatever. But so that was kind of like a spot that I already knew, like we sit there and talk all the time. Like it wasn't, there were no red flags. There were no, telltale signs of what was to come because I just thought we were taking a picture and Kelly was going to take it for us. So she followed us out there and she starts taking the photo.
She was actually recording.
Yeah, and like obviously, like right now, this is my good side, so like I'm sitting on this side, but Jeff was.
Both sides are good sides.
Okay, well, they're different, so I like the side of my face better. Anyway, so Jeff is like, I sit down on this side. The photographer, our friend Matt Joe, was like very insistent. He was like, make sure Kiley's on the left, so that like my hand, I would imagine, so that he.
No, for the lighting.
Oh, for the lighting. Okay, I didn't know that. So yeah. Anyway, so I'm like. I sit down and Jeff like inches himself like in between me. He's like, no, it like scoots me over. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, well I'm just gonna hate this photo, but whatever. So I tried to like kind of rotate like this way anyway. And then he just like, Kelly asked to get another photo. And then Jeff like looks at me and then he gets down on the ground on one knee and he keeps doing this at home. Like you've done it probably 2 or 3 times at home. And so like, and I know it's a joke at home just because like we're at home, it's like 9 p.m. and we're sitting on the couch like eating. And yeah, you got down and I remember thinking to myself like, man, get up. People are gonna think you're proposing. There are people out here and you're not gonna be proposing and I'm gonna be like, not embarrassed, but like a little bit. So like, get up. And then you started talking and I was like, okay, like, yeah, you love me, I know. And then you reached for your pocket. That's like what I knew. When you like reached back and were grabbing something, that's when I was like, oh my God, shit, he's doing it. I just like, I had so many thoughts running through my head the whole time. I heard like 10% of what you said. I mean, you didn't say much. It was like, it was quick. Like it wasn't like you were sitting there for 5 minutes, but yeah. Then you proposed and I like obviously said yes. I was so
and our song
like,
came on right as you said yes, as I was putting on your finger, our song came on, which was actually really, really cool. If it would have come out earlier, maybe you would have been like,
oh, I the whole time would have been like, oh my gosh, I don't think I would have been able to shut up.
yeah, that was pretty cool. That was actually a really good timing.
Yeah.
That it came out right
yeah.
when you were putting the ring on. And you said yes.
Yeah.
And then Matt had a bunch of pictures. You didn't even see him. He was
No,
a ninja
I mean,
dressed all
I
in
saw
black.
a photographer, but I thought
You didn't even know it was him. You weren't even. Well, that was really
Correct.
cool. You weren't even looking. You were only
Well,
looking
obviously.
at me. You were only looking at me.
I could hear people that were having dinner outside stop talking and listen to us, watch us. You know, Kelly's obviously filming, and I'm like, I can see a photographer, so I'm like very cognizant of all the stuff that's going on around me. But I was like just focusing on you because it's like I don't care. I'm really glad that I was surprised because I just liked being caught off guard and not thinking about like what does my hair look like, what does my makeup look like. Like I would not have had straight hair had I known. I would not probably have had red nails. I did my makeup like that morning, and then we sat in the car for 5 hours. You know, like it's not like my makeup was freshly done or like anything like that. It just was. It was more in the moment, and I'm glad that I wasn't overanalyzing, everything I was wearing or my makeup or my hair or anything. Like it just
cute as fuck.
Thanks. Like it was so cool to be so surprised. And then so then I thought that like obviously the proposal was a surprise, and then our friend Matt earlier that week, we have just recently become like really close with Matt and Mark and Grace for Sella, and I was like, we should invite, because we're inviting Kelly and Tony, I thought to myself, like, let's invite Mark and Grace, like, as another couple, because there's another bedroom, and, like, obviously Matt, he'd be a seventh wheel, sorry, Matt. But Jeff was like, oh, they're out of town, and he screenshotted it and sent it to them, and was like, oh my god, that's so funny, like, Kylie wants you guys to come anyway, and they were already planning on coming and, like, surprising me, and so Matt was there, and I learned, like, obviously Matt was there when he was taking our photos of the proposal, and then Jeff was like, oh yeah, Matt's staying with us, and
you were like, where's he going? And I was like, oh, I went back to Airbnb. We're going back to the Airbnb now. But I had something set up where everybody was waiting at, what was that?
Church and Union.
Church and Union that Macy set up, which was friggin' awesome. Macy is the best. And
she's a great planner.
Was, my parents sent over champagne, and it was on the table, and drinks and food, and everybody was waiting there, all your friends, and Kara and Macy and Jackson and Mark and Matt and Grace. And and Anna Grace stayed in Nashville extra time, and she tricked you.
She literally planned it, like, so she would be there for a podcast, because she was like gonna do a podcast over Zoom, but planned to be in Nashville like for the engagement, so she could surprise me. It's so funny because all week I talked to AG, and she was like, oh wait, you're gonna be in town. She was literally like, my friends are all such good liars, is what I've realized. Like they really all just fooled me. AG was like, Anna Grace, that's what I call her. She was like, dang dude, I didn't know you were gonna be in Nashville this weekend. I wish I was gonna be there. She's like, I'm just there this week, but I leave Friday morning. And even Friday morning on her story, I saw something, and it was like, something before leaving town. And I was like, fuck dude, that sucks. Like we're just gonna barely miss her. Like that sucks. Because the only person at this point at Urban Grub that I knew was there to surprise me was Matt. So I thought it was just Matt. And then on the way, once we got there, that's when like Mark and Grace and Anna Grace and Macy and Jackson and Kara and who else was there? Anybody else?
Your parents showed
My
up.
parents showed up. My parents showed up and surprised us. I think they like last minute got the details from Macy and just decided to crash and dip out. But yeah, it was just like the best surprise, and we got to celebrate like all weekend just in Nashville, which is like one of my favorite places, with just all my friends like in this really cute Airbnb. Like the Airbnb we stayed at was perfect.
So
like
nice.
It was so perfect for a weekend like that. It was the best thing ever. I loved. I don't know what it is about like. Obviously, we talked about getting married and getting engaged. I don't think that that's something that you should just like do if you're a guy without talking to like who you're gonna marry. I think you should have the conversation like, do we want to get married? Because it's a mutual decision as much as the guy proposes. It's a mutual decision. So obviously that part of it like isn't really a surprise these days anymore. So the fact that you went through like all of that effort to surprise me, like it made me feel really special. Like I've never been surprised like that in my life.
You're kind of like unsurprisable because you're like so schedule oriented, and I am with like business and stuff, but with life, I'm like I do so much in business stuff that I just don't want to plan anything that's not part of my work or what I see as my work. So I think that it threw you off the scent too, and especially because I just kept hammering Florida. I mentioned Florida and how special it was going to be, like 3 times a week for like 4 weeks, and purposely,
like
I'd walk out of the room and I'd start laughing to myself.
No.
Yes, I'd be like, yeah, it's gonna be so special. I walk out of the room and I'd be like texting people like, I just said Florida again.
The most like
you told people in St. Louis.
I know. So because literally when my parents were over, like the weekend before we went to Nashville, they walk outside and Jeff goes, "Oh, I'm gonna go talk to your parents about Florida," and runs out of the house barefoot. And I'm like, so we're getting engaged in Florida. Now I know. So yeah, that's the story. And now we are sort of in wedding planning mode. We kind of like last week talked about like, should we start planning? What are we doing? What's going on? And I like inquired with a few planners, and they were like, sorry, we're not taking anyone until fall of 2024 or 2023, but we want to get married in the summer of 2023 so that a lot of Jeff's guys that he trains, like his pros, will be home for the season. Like June, July is like really the only time where they're all there, and we really want them to be there. So we're sort of planning those dates like around them. Fingers crossed that 2023 works out. If not, 2024 is fine. I'm just like, I think if I have, like, right now we're at like the 8-month mark, 8.5, which feels like a sweet spot. And if we have to wait like a year plus that, I'm just gonna be sad because I just want to marry you. I'm so excited. That's all. But we're looking at a few venues this week. We have one that we're looking at tomorrow, which is Tuesday, which by the time you guys see this will be yesterday. So I really like that venue, and I'm very much, we in general are like one and done people, so we'll see.
One house, one ring. Well, we looked at 2 rings.
Yeah.
We went to one other place.
We looked at 2 places, one style.
Yeah, and the first ring we looked at wasn't, we walked in and we were like, this isn't the place we're getting our ring.
Yeah.
And as soon as we
like
walked into the Diamond family, we were like, this place is amazing, and they treated us so well, and they were so nice, and like, man, they treated me so well. They helped me trick you.
Yeah.
They were talking to you on the phone about inviting you to their ladies' night, and just like completely. Oh yeah, we haven't seen Jeff since you guys came in that day. We know he's looking at it.
Yeah, I'm like, all right.
They were in on it. So Edgar, you're the freaking man. Michael, you're the man. That was really cool. They helped us
I'll link all their stuff down below.
And they texted us the next morning,
great.
the next morning, because they knew I was doing it. I picked the ring up from them on Thursday, and then I proposed to you on Friday. So they both of them texted us Saturday morning, which was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're great guys.
Yeah, so that was, I can't.
It's always nice to support like business people, because like at the end of the day, sometimes it can feel like, just a transaction. Like in today's world, sometimes you can just feel like just money to somebody, but it was nice that like they made the experience like a really, really, really positive one. Like I'm glad to support their business because they were such good people,
And they're local.
Yeah, like I just want to support people who are really good people.
Yeah.
And they were awesome. So
yeah. So thanks, guys.
Yeah. So we'll be kind of planning our like wedding that way too, like wanting to support just like our friends, small local businesses. Like our friend Lindsay owns Cake House, and like we're obviously going to be using her to make our cake and stuff like that. I can't really think of any other people that
they'll come up.
Yeah.
It'll all come up.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's companies that you work with that can do like the bridesmaid dresses and.
Oh yeah, true.
All that type of stuff, and
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Excited. Can't wait to marry you. Thanks for asking me to marry you.
You're welcome.
I love you so much. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.